Okay, let's get this going. So this will be a comparison between the Tudor Pelagos 39 and the Omega No Time to Die. Now, I'm doing this comparison because I was actually looking for something like this. I realized they're in different price points. I'd probably buy either one of these used. I would say the Pelagos you can pick up, from the gray market or used for around $3,700. The No Time to Die probably high 6 or 7, so almost double the price of the Pelagos. I have seen the Pelagos 39 being compared to the Submariner, and I've seen the No Time to Die being compared to the Submariner, but I haven't seen two of these titanium divers compared against each other. So I'll just quickly go through, some of the benefits, differences, pros and cons of both. I already did a video on the No Time to Die, so this will be a little bit shorter than that. Obviously, aside from the price, let's go through some of the kind of pros and cons in each. So this No Time to Die currently is on the Unclestraps titanium bracelet. It actually matches the color really well, and it wears a lot better than the mesh on smaller wrist sizes. Now the mesh I heard is very comfortable on larger wrists. Unfortunately, it didn't work that well for me. I will say the bracelet on the Tudor Pelagos is fantastic. It has the Tudor T-Fit system, so it allows you to adjust the bracelet, and it's probably one of the more comfortable bracelets I've had. So, definitely one point for the Pelagos is the bracelet is a lot more comfortable and a lot more adjustable than this mesh bracelet from Omega, which leaves a lot to be desired. I kind of went through this in my other video. So what else can we say? So let's talk about the sizing, right? So you could see the Pelagos is a 39 diameter with around 11.8 thickness, so fairly thin, fairly compact on the wrist. The No Time to Die is a 42 with around 13 millimeter thickness. Now, you'll notice that the way they're shaped, the way the cases are shaped, with the scalloped bezel and kind of the clamshell look of the No Time to Die, it actually looks like it's thinner than it actually is on the wrist. Whereas the Tudor Pelagos, because it has a slab side case, it actually looks a little bit thicker than it actually is. So let's talk about very quickly just the bezel. So the bezel on the No Time to Die is pretty good. I have the old Seamaster here. This is them side by side. Obviously the old one is a little bit more of a, could lean into the dress watch. It's a little bit more shiny. Whereas the No Time to Die is a bit more muted. Obviously the old one's a lot thinner. I think it's also in the 11 millimeters. One interesting thing about the old one, it does have an aluminum bezel insert, so the scallop bezel was a lot thinner than the ceramic one on the new ones. But this is probably the hardest to turn, I think, of all the Seamasters. So you kind of push down and turn it. I've kind of gotten used to it, but it's fairly, it's not easy to do. I've had friends try it and it's not very easy. You also have a date on this one. Now, when we look at this one, this bezel is actually a little bit easier to turn than the standard Seamaster. So the standard Seamaster, the bezel is actually thicker to accommodate the ceramic insert. This insert is aluminum, so they did the bezel a little bit thinner, so it gives the watch a thinner look, aside from the fact that it has a closed case back, so it is a bit thinner. And because of the lightness of the material, I think maybe the grippiness of the titanium, it's pretty easy to grip and turn. Now the sound, some like it, some don't like it. I tend to like the sound of the click. It's nowhere near as good as the Pelagos. The Pelagos is probably the best in the business in my opinion. So if we now have a look at the bezel on this one, a lot more grippy with this coin edge, and the sound of the ceramic ball bearings is just fantastic, very precise, really good overall. Now, talking about the bracelet, so I think anyone that's seen reviews of the Pelagos, it does have the diver extension, which is deployed by just pressing this. Has the T-fit system, so it gives you 4 settings of adjustment. So you can kind of fine tune, or you could change it throughout the day. And this where it's really light, really comfortable. If I put this on my wrist, 6.7 inch, it just looks really nice. Now, as I mentioned, you could tell because of the slab-sided case, it does look a little bit thicker, but overall very thin watch, wears really nice. Now, one other thing I like about this before I move on to the No Time to Die is the dial. So the dial is a Sunbird's black, but most of the time it just looks black, and the bezel with a Sunbird's finish tends to sometimes look gray depending on the lighting. What I also like is the inside of these hands is black, so when you kind of turn the watch, it just looks like just white plots and white hands, and you see a black, which looks really cool overall. So what this actually provides is 2 things that I found as cons of the No Time to Die. One being visibility, the white against the black in so many lighting conditions. Very visible, very easy to see. That contrast is really good. And then the bracelet. The bracelet is really comfortable. It's adjustable, it's light. So overall, I would say in terms of, you know, visibility and the bracelet, the 2 big cons I had with the No Time to Die, this watch definitely beats it there. Now, the No Time to Die has a this kind of boxed dome crystal, so it actually looks really good, but in some lights, the way it reflects the light, it kind of makes the dial a little bit harder to see. This also turns fairly black in certain lighting, but you lose the hands a little bit. The kind of beige faux tint on the hand stands out, but you lose the hands a little bit in certain conditions. In addition to that, you know, some people say they really don't like the faux tint look. I kind of just look at it as a color. It's kind of a sand beige color to me. So Uncle Seiko, and I actually, I guess Unclestraps now, I actually reached out to him because I saw someone fitting a similar bracelet. They kind of bent the tabs and fit it on a No Time to Die, and I sent him the picture and I asked him if he would make the bracelet, and he actually made it. So this is the bracelet for it. You know, the stock mesh doesn't fit me that well, but this one is actually very comfortable. It's titanium. You have the milled clasp, and it actually fits very, very well, very comfortable as well now. So it's a shame the OEM bracelet, the mesh bracelet, isn't as comfortable, but you know, this alternative is pretty nice, and this watch wears really well on the NATO and other straps. So this is the No Time to Die on my 6.7 inch wrist. My opinion still looks really good. Now here's the thickness. To me, it looks about as thick as the Tudor, even though it's technically a millimeter larger or so, just because of the scallop bezel, the kind of downward shape of the crystal, and the way the case is. So you could see, you know, there's the side of the case, and then there's some height on the case back. So overall, wears really well. Now, both of these have, you know, very good wearability, great sizing. So honestly, it's up to you what you like. I think in my opinion, the No Time to Die is a little bit more exciting, a little bit more dynamic. You have the red Seamaster. You know, both bezels are loomed. So I would say, yes, there is a big price difference. If you want a really good all-around 2 watch that's comfortable, it may get boring over time, but it still looks really good. Has that Tudor snowflake style. Definitely check out the Tudor Pelagos. If you want something a little bit more unique, something you don't see every day, a little bit more exciting, and you're willing to deal with some of the slight negatives of the mesh bracelet may not fit you, or it may fit you very well. So there's people with larger wrists that say that bracelet is very comfortable. And I would say the only other negative for me is the slight loss of the hands depending on the light. You can still see them with the beige Lume, but they are gunmetal, so they could get lost in the light. Now, I do like this whole scalloped bezel, the crystal, and it does make it seem like it's thinner than it actually is. So it's really up to you what you're looking for in terms of these two watches. I'll attach a quick Lume shot of both, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so here's the Lume on both. You can see, my kind of makeshift setup, the Tudor very nicely lit up. It's more of a blue. The Seamaster is a little bit more of a turquoise. The Seamaster hand is green. And, all the complaints about the Tudor hands not looming quite enough, I don't know, I haven't really found that, maybe a little bit, but overall it's really, really good Lume on both of them. So that's definitely a plus on both watches, and it's fantastic that the bezel is also loomed on both. All right, guys, so these are the watches once again side by side. Great titanium options. Let me know what you think. If the price wasn't that much of a difference, which one would you pick up? Please let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.